Okay, so what if I told you the biggest risk you're taking with your money isn't investing, but actually staying out of the market altogether? Yeah, we're about to break down this huge idea, the difference between what's risky and what's just uncertain. And trust me, getting these two mixed up, it can literally cost you everything.
I mean, this quote just hits it right on the head, doesn't it? We're all taught to be scared of the market, scared of losing our hard-earned cash. But here's the real secret danger, the one that sneaks up on you. It's your money slowly becoming worthless, just sitting there, losing its punch, its buying power, day after day. That's the risk nobody ever warns you about.
All right, let's just be real for a second. To most people, the stock market kind of feels like this giant, flashy casino, right? You throw your money in, cross your fingers, and just hope you get lucky. But is that really all it is? Just a big gamble? Or is there something else going on? A system that maybe we're just not seeing clearly? And look, I totally get it. You pull up a stock chart on your phone, and it's just this jagged, crazy line going up and down. It looks like a total roller coaster. And when you see those big, scary red dips, your gut just screams, "Get out! Sell! Run!" And you know what? That's a completely normal human reaction to what looks like pure chaos. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? I mean, this is the whole point of what we're talking about today. What if that fear, that panic, is all built on one big misunderstanding? What if there's a simple mental switch you can flip that turns all that scary chaos into something that actually makes sense, something you can feel confident about? So let's totally reframe this whole thing. Forget the casino. I want you to think about your financial journey like a flight plan. All your hard work, your grind, your side hustle, it's not for nothing. You're not just hoping for the best, you're actually the pilot charting a course to a real destination. And that destination, it's not some boring retirement number. No way. It's your definition of financial freedom. It's being able to fund your big ideas, support the people you love, maybe build something that outlasts you. It's the why behind all your work. That's the destination we're flying to. Okay, so if financial freedom is where we're going, how do we get there? Well, you could try to walk. That's kind of like a savings account. It's super safe, sure, but it's going to take you forever. Investing, that's the airplane. It's the most powerful vehicle we have to cover that huge distance and actually reach our goals in our lifetime. All right, but let's be honest. If you've ever flown, you know it's not always smooth sailing or smooth flying. Sometimes you hit those bumpy spots, right? That turbulence. So let's talk about what that actually means for our financial flight. Because on any flight, there are really only two kinds of problems you can have. You've got turbulence, which feels super scary, but it's normal. The pilot isn't even sweating. And then you've got engine failure, a real this is not a drill disaster. They might both feel scary in the moment, but the outcomes are worlds apart. And this difference, it is absolutely everything. And here it is, the big connection. Market volatility, those wild ups and downs, that's just turbulence. That stomach-dropping feeling when you see your portfolio dip, it's uncomfortable for sure, but it is a totally standard part of the flight. That's what we mean by uncertainty. You don't know exactly when the bumps will hit, but you know on a long flight, you're going to hit some. So yeah, it's just price fluctuation. I love this phrase. It's like a vibe check of the market. It's reacting to news, to the economy, to what's happening in the world. But here's the key. It is not a sign that the plane's about to crash. Okay, so if the bumps and drops are just turbulence, then what's engine failure? What's the real, actual danger we should be worried about on this financial flight? This is the real risk. We're talking about a permanent loss of your money. This isn't your investment dipping for a week and then bouncing back. No. This is when a company you invested in goes belly up. Or, and this is a big one, it's when you panic during turbulence and sell everything at the absolute worst time, locking in that loss forever. That's engine failure. That's your money going to zero. It's not just uncomfortable, it's game over. So I really want you to let that sink in. The goal of investing isn't to have a perfectly smooth ride with no turbulence. That's impossible. The goal is to make sure the plane doesn't crash. The real risk isn't the bumpy journey. It's the permanent, irreversible destruction of your capital. So how do we do that? How do we fly through the turbulence that we know is coming, but make sure we avoid that crash landing? Well, it all comes down to a mindset shift. You stop being a scared passenger in the back, and you start being the wise pilot in the cockpit. And this is where that idea of stewardship really clicks. It's about being a responsible manager of what you've been given. A wise pilot doesn't pretend storms don't exist. They don't just close their eyes and hope for the best. No, they prepare for the uncertain. They understand it, and they have a solid plan to fly right through it. I mean, think about it, right? A pilot doesn't cancel the whole flight just because the forecast calls for a few bumps. Of course not. They study the weather patterns, they know their plane inside and out, and they stick to the flight plan. For you, as the pilot of your own finances, studying the weather means understanding things like diversification. And knowing your plane, that's about understanding your own goals and how much risk you're truly comfortable with. Okay, so here's your pre-flight checklist, your small win for today. First, reframe your mindset. That fear you feel when the market dips, that's not a stop sign. It's just your awareness kicking in. Second, know the difference. The next time you see some crazy headline about the market, just say to yourself, okay, this is turbulence, not engine failure. And third, start building. Just commit right now to taking one small step toward creating your own financial flight plan. Look, the market is always going to have turbulence. That's just a fact. So the real question isn't if there will be bumps, but who you're going to be. Are you going to be the terrified passenger, white-knuckling it and reacting to every little shake? Or are you going to be the pilot, up in the cockpit, confidently navigating towards your destination with a plan? The choice really is all yours.